As craving, the wise one listens and answers with song. From cedar dusk to tides so long, above the inlet fog runs deep, where mountains brood and waters sleep. Once upon a time of pain, the fire was bound, but not yet slain. What you forget I always know, through embers hush and cedars glow. I, raven, circle, sharp of eye, I watch the captives, hear their cry. This is the tale the Inlet keeps, of Kwakwalease, where silence weeps, and Clatsje's lake, remote and profound, where captives learned on guarded ground. The journey into Roscoe. The canoes cut north through Roscoe, seeing a silver wake of ghostly gleam. Steep cliffs lean close on either side, their shadows deep, their secrets wide. The forest pressed with cedar breath, its silence thick, a weight of death. The tide ran dark, the gulls were still, the paddles struck with ghostly will. I, raving, wheeled above the tide, my shadow stretched both far and wide. I watched the healing power below, whose ember burned, though none could know. He was already Kwakwalease, when from the drowned canoe he came. Come out from underneath, they cried, a word of rising, flame defied. Though ropes bit deep and shoulders bled, the embers smoldered, never fled. A captive, yes, but still aflame. A fire hit, yet the same. Kwakwalease, the first bay. At last the bay grew broad and wide, a cradle carved by time and tide. Here Kwakwalease held its ground, with cedar poles and songs profound. Smoke rose soft from hearths of clay. Children laughed and ran away. Fish was drying, drums restored. Canoes lay waiting at the shore. The air was thick with cedar scent, with salmon fat and oolagan spent. Dogs barked sharp, a hammer rang, while from the house a cradle sang. Here the captives first were shown, the laws, the tongue, the ways unknown. They listened close, they watched the crowd, their spirits quiet, never loud. I perched atop a weathered beam and watched him listen, watched him dream. His eyes drank deep each word inside, each custom old, each law divine. They saw a man both strong and still, a will unbroken, iron will. He bent his head, but not his flame. He played their game, but stayed the same. The path to Clatsje, but deeper yet his fate was bound, beyond the bay past village ground. A narrow path through moss and pine, a trail that hid its secret sign. The forest grew, the air grew cold, the mountain shoulders stern and bold. Streams ran thin with icy breath, and every sound was hushed to death. And then at last through trees we drawn, the mirror lake of Clatsje shone, still as glass, yet fierce and grim. Its waters shouted, hope to swim. A prison made of cliff and shore, a captive's cage forevermore. Here tongues were chained, here lives were made, here silence ruled, here futures swayed. No open sea, no friendly tide, just mirrored sky where hope must hide. I circled high, my wings held wide, and felt the hush the lake supplied. Every cry the captives made, the cliffs returned and echoed to shade. Even the wind seemed chained, subdued, as if the water's will was crude. Here every captive's heart was tried, and every oath was locked inside. The captive's oath. Yet in that hush the healer spoke, a vow beneath the cedar cloak. So soft the men around him missed, but I above heard every twist. You bind my hands, but not my flame. You steal my voice, but not my name. The ember waits, the ember hides. It breathes beneath these mountain sides. When chains are dust, when silence parts, the fire walks through captive hearts. And though you think the flame is gone, it waits in shadow, burning strong. The lake absorbed his whispered plea. The cliffs returned her back at me. I caught his words upon my wing and sent them forth, remembering. The doctrine of embers. Ashes whisper, embers sleep. They learn the dark, they listen deep. Through rope and chain, through smoke and rain, the ember bends, but won't be slain. Strike the cedar, drown the song. The ember hides, but not for long. It waits in stillness, waits in pain. It learns, endures, and burns again. For silence is a teacher too. It sharpens eyes, it hardens view. And those who think the flame is gone will learn the ember waits till dawn. Kwakwalease and Clatsje remember. Even now the babe recalls the rising smoke, the cedar walls. Even now the mountains keep the captive vows, the silence deep. Kwakwalease, where songs were taught, where captives first were shaped and caught. Clatsje, where the echoes ring, where whispered oaths take root and cling, and I raving above it all. Heard embers vow, heard spirits call. They thought they'd caged a healer's hand, but fire still smoldered in that land. For what you bind is not undone. The fire sleeps, but wakes with sun. And when the tide turns once again, the fire walks among you then. Ask Raven, what you forget I still restore. Through smoke and tide, through cedar shore, through fire and embers, Raven remembers. Nevermore, nevermore.